Hi, Gay DeRusso with the Majestic rider. So here with an update on Flyboy. We've already done the arena work and our flat walk, which you've already seen. So I'm just going to show you his saddle gait. Since I took a break setting up the camera, it might take a minute for him to kind of smooth out and pay attention again. So here we go. I'm going to sit up nice and tall, just in neutral position. This is his natural head carriage. I'm not changing that, and I'm just going to squeeze with both my legs and ask for a little speed. He's not responding. He's tired today, so we're going to give him a little tap. So he goes right to pacing, and that's okay. So we're going to go over a pole, and then each time we go around, it'll get a little bit better. Now, he wasn't paying a lot of attention right there, so I kind of leaned back, which could make him more pacey, but it'll keep me safer. So you always keep your body back if you think they might trip or they're not paying attention to a pole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push him off my left leg, catch him with my right leg, and then release. Push him off my left leg, catch him with my right leg, and then release. So I'm just going to do that over and over again. This is the part where they always get pacey because there's no footing there. But what I'm trying to get him to do is to do the gait, but in a more neutral carriage where he's going to be a little bit happier, and that's what he would do down the trail, because we don't want him bunched up like he used to be. Yes. So yesterday he was full of energy. Today not so much. When I'm working them, they do get tired because it's 5 days a week, for a couple hours a day. So this is better. Now it's a little pacey, so I'm going to sit up, hold him, turn him a little shoulder in, tap, tap, tap with the stick because he slowed down, and then forward. And he might be trying to go to the bathroom. I'm not even going to look because it doesn't matter anymore. He's just got to keep going. So not bad, still just a little pacey. But again, anytime you stop or you're talking to people and then you go back to working, it takes a minute for them to warm back up, so it might take a minute for them to smooth back out. So all I keep doing is bending them a little to the left, a little shoulder in. Once I push him over, I catch him with the other leg so he doesn't drift, and then I try to push my hands forward to get him to relax down. Now, yesterday he was a little better, but I also didn't stop for a while to fix up the camera. So again, he tends to drift to the right when we're going to the left, and when we go to the right, he cuts in. He's getting better. So you have to think of those things as you're going around, that I have to keep catching him with my right leg so he doesn't drift, and just use that fencing for support. You want to keep the horse right in between your hands and your legs. Now, his stall is right there, so that's another reason he might be drifting and going slower there. And many times you'll hear me hitting them, and it might sound loud. It's actually me hitting the saddle. But they can still feel the energy. There, he's pretty good. There, he's very good. And this is what happens. You'll get some good steps and not so good steps. But again, he's much better than he was. But I'm just going to his sides for the gait, not so much his head with him. Because he has a good head carriage. It's just I got to keep him from bunching up. So if he bunches up or plays with the bit, I just don't pay attention to it, and I just try to go forward again. Don't feed into if they're doing stuff with their head. Sometimes they're doing it to distract you. But these bits have rollers on them, and that's the point, that if they get anxious, they're supposed to play with the roller. So if they're rolling on it, don't get freaked out that their mouth's not quiet, especially when they're young. They're just like children. They like to kind of fiddle around. So again, you'll see I'm hitting poles once in a while, but not all the time anymore. And yesterday he got a little bit trotty, so when he got trotty, I just held him with my hands and my legs and pushed him forward again and sat back a little bit more. Because that'll happen with some of them that trot when they loose, but they're pacey under saddle, is that they'll switch. They'll go from pacing to trotting. So you got to be able to ride both of them. And usually when they're pacey, I'll tilt just a little bit more at my thigh to free up their back if I can. But again, if they're trippy, I won't do that. So the hardest part is just going around, keeping the same speed. This is good. Getting your horse to relax. And know as you go around the arena, unless you're at a really nice facility, the footing's going to change, so their gait's going to keep changing. That's just part of the gaited horse thing. Footing makes a big difference. And so when it's deep, they might gait better. And when it's shallow, they might not gait as well, or it might be the opposite. You just got to figure that out. But see, now as soon as I'm trying to relax, he thinks we're quitting. And I'm like, no, keep going. Pretty good. Good. Let's hit the pole again. Sit back, look up. There, he didn't pick his feet up so well, so it's a good thing I sat back. Here, he always drifts. So you start trying to figure things out as you ride your horse. If he always drifts somewhere, 20 feet before that, get ready. Don't wait until they drift. If they always trip somewhere, 20 feet before that, find a different place in the arena to go. Just cut in, because it's usually that the footing's changing in that spot. So ride ahead, think, and then focus on what you're doing. Don't be thinking about work. All you want to focus on is smoothness, gait, go forward. He's getting stuck. See him getting bunched up, so I didn't go to his mouth. I pushed him forward, and you saw me waving that stick. So there, he's pretty good. Whoa. So we're going to give him a break for a minute. So it took a while to get there. I'm going to give him a break, but not so long that he's not going to be warmed up anymore, because we're going to go to the right, and that's his worst direction. So I want to give him time to rest for a minute, but not time that he forgets what he's doing or his joints aren't warmed up and he goes back to pacing. But overall, he's doing really well. On the trail, he's gaiting quite well. It's always harder usually in the arena for most of them, because they haven't had a lot of arena training. Let's do our turn on the haunches. He's memorized the routine, so when he goes home, if the owner doesn't know the routine, he's just going to start doing it. That's a lot of times what horses do. Okay. So here's a little of his flat walk. Now we're going right into his saddle gait. So right there, he's good. So see, he started out better already. Now he's drifting a little bit, so I'm going to switch my stick into my left hand. These guys are going to start working on the fence, so I don't know if it's going to ruin this for us. So again, when he's relaxed and good, I'm just letting go of him. But if he started speeding up, I would half halt, sit back. If he starts pacing, I do my little shoulder in, which is this, and then I release. I don't keep him in it the whole time. And he's pretty good. Sometimes when you see me bouncing a little bit, that's going more towards a step pace, but again, it comes in time. And I guess I should start videotaping the first day, because that's always when he's more energetic and a little bit better. But if you ride them all the time, they become quieter. It has to be, consistent work, consistent on what you're doing. They memorize what you're doing. So if you have a forward horse, but you start walking all the time, they're like, oh, I guess I don't have to go so fast anymore. But if you're on a forward horse and you always go forward all the time, guess what they do? They go forward. So practice the things they don't do well. If they're a forward horse, make them walk and do lots of circles. If they're a slow horse, make them go forward and start using themselves, especially if you just walk with your friends. So he's getting better. Here he's pretty good. So neutral body frame, which means his head's not high or low. It's kind of just where he's naturally carrying it. There. There he paced a little bit, so I went to his side. I'm bending him to the right, then I'm releasing. So I try to get them to get the footfall slower, and then over time he can go faster. When I was trying for his canter yesterday, he actually gaited really fast when he was confused, and very nicely. So I know he can go quite fast, faster than he can canter. But, so there he got stuck. And why is he getting stuck over there? Because he's smart, and that's where I took a break, was close to that area. So he's going to keep going over there and slowing down. Like, how about we take a break here? Because now, here he's bunched up. So I took a hold of him, held him for a second or two, and kind of half-halted 2 or 3 times on the reins, and then I let him go again. Okay? Each horse is different, so you have to figure out what works for them. So I just want, there he's Pacey again. See how it happens in the same spot? That means it's the footing. But as I'm talking, I'm forgetting to go in a different spot. But anytime he gets bunched up, I push my hands forward and I go to his body and tell him to lengthen his stride, and I don't mess with his head. So this is quite nice. I could do this all day on the trail. And again, he gaits better out there, but I'm still going to keep riding him in the arena. Look, right back to the pace there. I'm going to keep riding him in the arena once or twice a week because he's got to be able to do it somewhere she can practice. And somewhere if she needs to do an online lesson, we can do one. I can't do it with her on trail because all I could see is the horse's head. And you can't tell everything from their head. Time went by pretty fast. Let's go around a couple more times. So see him going faster? So what I'm going to do, so you can see, is I'm going to speed him up a fair amount. See how nice that is? Here's the spot. Here's the spot. I saw there was a dip there, so that time I was ready for it because I wasn't talking. And what I did was lean back and hold him together a step or two before I got to that spot to get him on his back end, and then I released him. But see, now he can gait much faster. And I don't want his head up because that will get him pacey. So I want to get through this spot one more time. So right now I'm going to sit back, hold him. Here's the spot. Now I'm going to let him go. So not bad. So I want to get it a little better before I stop. Now it's good here, but I don't want to stop by his stall, so that's the hard part. Keep going. Whoa. So see, I just said, whoa, never pulled on the reins, just sat back, and he was like, I've been dying to stop. So he stopped very quickly. So I always use my body and then my voice, but I do it when the horses are tired, and then you get a really good whoa on them. So now he can put his head down and relax, hold on to the buckle, Don't micromanage them. He's on break time, so he can do whatever he wants as long as he doesn't eat grass and his feet don't move. So that means he can look around, he can scratch his head on his legs. I don't care about any of that stuff. He can play with the bit like he's doing. Doesn't bother me. Remember, when your horse is baby, they're going to play with stuff just like kids play with stuff. Okay? And remember, if they keep getting that bit in the mouth, get the shank that has the S on it, and that will bring it further away from their mouth. Or you can put those bit guards on, those rubber bit guards with Velcro. I probably won't remember to put in the video, but they're on Amazon, and it might be in the links below. But that can also prevent them from grabbing the bit because they can't get it. So what we're going to do next is canter. I'm going to go canter down there because the footing's a little better. And I'm going to canter walk, canter walk. He's starting to get the idea of the word and picking it up better, so I don't have to be in the saddle gait so much, which is great. And so what I'm trying to do is build his strength but not wear him out that he doesn't want to canter. So I canter and then I walk, because my canter's a little fast to keep him in it, and then I'm walking, so that's a transition. I'm going up with the canter, bringing energy up, and then bringing it back down. So what I'm trying to teach him in time is just to canter slow, but I'm going to do it through the transitions. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to walk off down there, and what I'm going to do when I'm ready is I'm going to half halt, give him a second, shift my weight to the outside. I'm going to say the word canter, and then I'm going to ask with my outside leg, which is my right leg. So I'm asking for my left lead with my right leg. Now, you always want to get them back in work mode. So when you've taken a break, walk a circle first until your horse really understands everything. And he doesn't, so he's got to get back in work mode. So I'm just walking one circle, getting some energy, waking him up, and then we'll go. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to half halt, shift my weight to the outside, canter. He's gating. Now he's cantering, but bad footing. So I'm kind of pumping. There we go. So I had to hit him a couple of times. Now I'm going to walk. So he's going to be distracted because he's right there working. So I know every time I turn there, he might fall apart. So I'm going to walk one circle and then try it again. So that was just the first time, and it took us a little bit. It wasn't pretty, but that's normal. He's learning. So there he just sped up on his own, and I just half halt and asked him, no, please don't, and just walk. Okay, so now we're going to ask him for the canter again. He's going to be distracted. He's watching the shoer and that guy. Half halt, shift my weight, canter. Canter, better. I'm opening my rein to steer because he's drifting. Now I'm using my right leg, and I'm pumping. Now I sit back in the turn, and both legs close and push him forward. Good boy. Now I'm going to walk. Okay. Around your turns, especially when you're making a small circle, which I am, to keep him slower, you have to sit back and balance. When we used to do jumping, we'd get back in the turn, you'd ride kind of forward through that turn. See, he expected to canter off there. And you sit back, half halt, hold them together, and then come forward. So you keep the same rhythm. Here we go. Canter. See how quicker he's picking it up? Because now he has the idea. So right now, I'm going to sit back, take a hold of him, drive with my legs and seat to keep him going, and bend him. Same thing here. Squeeze, push him together, help him. Go boy. So that was 3 circles that direction. So that's all we have to do. Now we're going to go the other way. So these gaited horses are different than regular horses. It takes a lot out of them when they don't know how to canter. Some of them it's not totally natural. I'm going to switch my stick into my outside hand in case he drifts. And it takes a lot out of him. So I feel he's tired. If I keep pushing for more canter, he's going to fall apart. And what's that going to teach him? That Gaye just tortures you until you're tired. No. Gaye doesn't want to do that. I want him to be happy cantering for me. So I tell him, hey, canter, circle, then we'll walk. Yeah, it's not that bad. Okay? All right, so we'll see if he picks it right up this way. He might, because he's warmed up, or he might be confused. Here we go. Half halt, shift my weight to the outside. Canter. I'm pumping. It's not a real canter. And his head's a little low, so I'm picking it up. Now, this isn't so good, but that's okay. Walk. It still counts. Walk. It was still a canter, just not the best canter. Okay? So walk a circle. So again, when you're working with young horses or these gaited horses, do not be a perfectionist, especially if you're a trainer. Don't do that, okay? It's difficult for these horses. Once they get everything, it's easy for them, but otherwise they can do so many things, it's difficult. They get tired. When they get tired, they get trippy, so don't tire them out too much when you're doing things like this. Okay. But he's picking up both leads. That's very good. Now that guy's carrying a big piece of wood. Okay, so here we go. Pay attention. Canter. So I had to tap him. So he'll sit back and try to lift his head up. He's falling forward. He's going to lose his lead. I can feel it. No, wrong lead. No, so he's just falling apart. So what am I going to do? Walk. And I'm going to start again. So I tried to push him back into it. He fell out of it, so that's okay. So we're just going to start again. But there were distractions. Okay. Half halt, shift my weight, left leg canter. Now you can use a pole or a jump. It's cross canter. Wrong. A lot of distractions. There, we got it. Walk. So I got it, and I only cantered like 4 steps. Why? Because he's getting tired. There were distractions, and that was his reward. Like just a couple steps, and then we'll go again. Again, yesterday was better. Yesterday, nobody was here in the arena with me. No distractions, and he wasn't as tired. So all that comes into play. There he just sped up on his own and got a little pacey. And I just held him and said, no, that's not what I want. So he's trying. I don't want to punish him for doing it. He's thinking she wants to canter. Let me canter for her. That's where she canters every time. I'll just try to canter. But I said, no, you're tired. Take a longer break. No stopping when he goes to the bathroom. Okay. So here we go again. He tends to put his head down lower when we go to the right. Canter. In the back. Walk. Now he's fallen in. So I'm going to push him out and then just walk. No big deal. Okay? So overall, he did really well. Okay? Now, you might think, well, that's not that great. Well, first of all, I'm not cantering in a round pen, so he has no walls really to support us. I'm not cantering at one end of the arena where we did before, closer to the fence. I'm in the middle of the arena with no fences. So this really makes your horse have to balance himself, and he has to balance me as well, which is not easy. So that's why they can canter on the lunge line or loose and not canter with you, because they have to balance you as well. So he did really well. And again, he's tired. So all of that is normal. Over time, they'll get stronger, they'll get better, they'll understand more, and he'll be more coordinated. To the right is his bad direction. He's a little weaker in the stifle back there. Many gaited horses are. They'll have one side where they're a little weaker. And so that's why he cross canters there. So I don't want to end when he's cross cantering. And I have videos on that. If you don't know what cross cantering is, look that up. But you have to learn how to feel the lead, get the correct lead. If I let him cross canter, he's going to learn to canter wrong. And many horses that are lateral will cross canter. It's not as balanced. It's balanced for them, but not balanced for us up here, and it doesn't feel comfortable. So you want to teach them the correct way. So you just do little steps here and there, and every day try to canter a little bit so it becomes second nature and they build up their muscles. Try to make sure whichever is their bad direction, you get it as good as you can, but don't, drive them crazy over it. If some days you're like, this is just horrible today, you're like, okay, just go back to gaiting. Go back to walking. Do something they know, okay? Work on turns or patterns. But some days it's just like that. They're sore, your saddle's pinching, they're growing. There's so many things that can affect them. And it changes how they behave versus regular horses don't, change as much. But with these horses, remember the terrain, so that's the footing, changes the way they gait. Depending if it's deep, flat, or bumpy, will change everything. Hills going up and down will change it. Hard surfaces versus soft surfaces will change their gait. Your balance, your saddle fit, there's so many things involved. So you have to try to get them all right. But again, you're building your horse up. You can't do it in a day. It takes many years to make a good trail horse. It takes many years to get them to gait well. And even if I can do it well with him, the owner has to learn to do it, and that can take years. So you're just trying to make everything better. As they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. How long was it built? He's like, I think it took 20 years. That's what I want. So overall, he's doing well. He's a great horse, and it's just going to take more time, but he's come a long way. All right. Hope that helps. Remember to like and subscribe and turn your notifications on so you know when I post new videos.